Hello everyone, welcome to Unicorn Light Tarot. So glad you could join us today. If you are brand new, welcome, and if you are returning, obviously welcome too. Welcome one and all. Today I thought what we could do is get a little bit of fairy magic back into our lives. So if you're ready for a little magic, then you have come to the right place. So we are going to do fairy magic. What magic will transpire for you in the next month? This is a timeless reading, so it'll be whenever you click on this, it'll be the month coming into, but obviously we will be working with energies that are around us in and around us whenever you click on the video. So the next month after you click on this video, messages from your fairy folk, we will get you some monthly magic predictions and get some magic back in your life. Or if you already have magic in your life, congratulations, we'll get you more magic in your life. So as always, we have 3 piles. Today we have so much magic in the air. I didn't put anything on the piles, so it's up to you to intuit which pile is for you. Pile 1, 2, and 3. As always, please feel free to take as much time as you need. If you need to go ahead and pause the video, go ahead and do that. The timestamps will be down below as always. The more you are in touch with your own intuition, the more these readings will resonate, even though they are general readings. Of course, there's a message for you in one of these piles, 2 of these piles, maybe even 3 of these piles, then it will come to you. You will find it. So for those of us who are still here and have not paused the video yet, let's go ahead and take in a deep breath. Hold for a second, release, and come back into yourself. Let all of your energy come back into your chakras, especially our 1st, 2nd, and 3rd chakra. Inhabit your own body. Drop into your heart center. Right there. That's where your intuition, that's where all of the great answers are going to come to you, right through your intuition and into your heart center. So let's get going, and we're going to put pile 2 and 3 aside for now. Okay, so if you chose pile 1, as a reminder, we are working with fairy magic today. What fairy magic will transpire for you in the next month? So we'll be working with elemental energies, and again, messages from your fairy folk, your monthly magical predictions. So whenever you click onto this video, it will be a month coming in for you, that month coming in. So these are timeless readings. So what we're doing, just to get you a firm idea of where. Okay, so we have our 3-card system here to start off with. Your middle card is your card from the fairies. So what theme or a magical message is ready to integrate, is ready for you to know about. And then the left card will be what you need to release in order to integrate what's coming in here. And then your right card is what you need to allow in for all of this magic to occur. So let's get going with your middle card. You have some moon energy, pile 1. So this is your theme. This is your message from your guides, from your fairy guides today for the next month. Moon energy, surrender to the natural ebb and flow of life. If you're feeling confused, this fairy comes to calm emotions and reassure you that peace of mind is possible. Okay, so the first thing that's happening for you, the theme of this month, magic will happen when you release and when you surrender. So a few things that are coming up for you immediately, pile 1, is that as this new moon comes in, as a new moon coming in, as this energy comes in around you, there might be some old stuff that comes up for you, but this is how we want you to treat that stuff. So sometimes when things come up, we can, it clouds our vision a little bit, and then we think to ourselves, I'm feeling a little down in the dumps, or I'm not really feeling myself. and then we can't really get back to our sort of life that we had before. It's not exactly depression, but when this stuff comes up, if you are feeling this way, there is going to be some old stuff that comes up for you. But we want to remind you that the fact that this old stuff is coming up means that you've gotten to the wound thing. So there's going to be some stuff that comes up for you this month, but there's no need to really, and this is kind of a strange thing to say, but bear with us, we'll explain. There's no real reason to take full attention to it. All it is, it's letting you know that it's there and ready to be integrated. You don't need to go down the rabbit hole of doing all this shadow work in order to integrate it. The fact that it's come up suggests or tells us already that you've done the work in order to get to that real wound. So for you, this is a month for integrating old energy. And the way in which you integrate this old energy is really very simple. All you need to do to pay it attention is just to integrate it. Just say, I'm ready to release it right now. Some stuff will be coming up for you. You're ready to release it. Again, you don't need to find out where it comes from and this, that, and the other. You've been peeling back the layers of the onion for so long of your healing journey. This is just sort of the core wound coming up for you. But as this comes up, it's going to be kind of big for some of you. So it's just a matter of saying, thank you for letting me know that I've gotten to the core wound. Congratulate yourself on getting there. And there's a two-step process for this. Integrating the energy, which means releasing. I release you now, because it's old energy, and it just... You know, if it's coming in and around you and you're feeling like you're in a little bit of a haze, you might have taken this energy on. The other thing is to allow time for it to integrate and to release. If you don't feel as though you want to go back to your, your happy life that you did before, you want to allow for some time, but at the same time, just allow for it. Just wherever things lie, just take some time. Go walk by a river, whatever you need to do, that's totally fine too. There's this necessity really of not necessarily getting back to your old life per se, but not going down the rabbit hole of trying to figure out how to release it. It's just a matter of honoring the energy that's coming in so you can release it once and for all. Now, excuse me, for some of you, it could be a little bit of emotional, because these are core themes that have been coming up for you that could have been in some of your bloodlines also. But this is, when this comes to you, this is how it's affected you personally. This is not bloodline stuff. So it might be a little bit emotional for you to see what you've been through and the road that you've been through, and that's perfectly fine. Again, take the time that you need to be able to honor this energy and what it's taught you and release it once and for all. But again, there's no course that you need to take. There's nothing that you need to do. Just allow some time for it. If you need to disappear for a couple of days and watch movies or read a book or sit in the sunshine, whatever you need to do, every single one of you will have a different way of doing this. So if this is energy that comes up for you this month, this is positive energy, this is wonderful energy, it's going to pass through you. Honor it as it comes up. If you don't honor it, you might find yourself feeling a little heavy, or feeling like, if you're trying to push through sort of this dense energy, why aren't I myself? And then you can start feeling as though you're getting in a little bit of a funk. If you're starting to do that, all you need to do is allow in the honoring of this energy, and then it will release naturally. This is not coming in and around you to make you heavy or to tell you that there's a bunch more that needs to be healed. Not at all. This is kind of like, an honoring of this energy. So releasing into the month, releasing into what has transpired. And also the other part of this, we said there was a 2-tier system for this. Honoring where you've come from, releasing this old energy once and for all, and then trusting in, really building that trusting with the universe, because it is time for you to really trust where you are moving forward. Now, all you need to do is be very clear with the universe about the kind of life that you want. You don't have to be specific about it. A lot of you are getting, as we say at home, knickers in a twist, because you're being, you're wondering how specific you need to be. And I need to have all my ducks in a row for this to happen. And, if you look back on your life before and you were somewhat specific, I'd like a higher paying job. And I'd like to you know, and I would like to do something that I'm already good at, for instance, right? The universe would have provided it for you, but then there were some missing elements to that didn't make you that happy. Like the person that came in, like the clients that you're working with, didn't value you as much as they could have, or you felt sort of trapped in what you were doing and it wasn't 100%. So all you need to do is be really clear with the universe, and you can do it just like this. I want to step into the highest version of myself. I want to step into a life where I am absolutely inspired. I can inspire people. And I'm only looking for people, situations, and energies that reflect and will bring out and support the highest version of myself. And all situations will fit into that. So that's all you need to do. Make sure that you're always asking for the best scenario, because you know what you do and what we all do, because we're all human, is that we try to take somewhat control over it because we think that we need to have some kind of control. So when we ask the universe, sometimes we ask for specific things, and the thing is that the universe can give us so much more. So the energy for you this month, Pile 1, is to be really receptive to being open to absolutely limitless, boundless possibilities coming in. Now, this will be made available to you because if these core wounds come up, for you to acknowledge, for you to sort of pay homage to, and then release once and for all. And you're clear that whatever direction you move in, it will be of the highest quality that the universe can give you. And you know that you are ready to receive at that level. Then limitless possibilities will come in for you. So let's do your left card. What do you need to release to integrate? So this came up a little bit in the middle card, but what do you need to release? Express your joy. So for some of you, you have a joyous nature, absolutely, but you also have this really practical, beautiful side to you, which is absolutely wonderful, and we love that about you. But sometimes the joy comes from when things are going correctly. Now, again, this is a very, very human trait. So we want to acknowledge that completely and totally. But if you have a vision of what you think you've put out there and it's not coming back as soon as possible, or there's an element of control in there and you feel a little bit lost, sometimes the joy gets sort of pushed down a little bit because the practical mind is, all right, what do we need to do now? We need to be doing this, we need to be doing that, to bring in this, to bring in that. We're going to ask you this month, if it is possible, just to put it in the back of your mind, no need to force anything, to give yourself these joyous moments no matter what is happening in the present moment, knowing that everything is working out for you. No, you may not be able to see absolutely everything that's happening behind the scenes, certainly not, but trusting that the universe is orchestrating exactly what needs to be done to reflect your inner life and to reflect the highest version of yourself. Remember, that's what you've asked for. And again, we've talked to you about here with this new understanding of working with the universe, which means totally surrendering into this expansiveness of what you can expect. So little things that we want for you in a practical way. We try to give you these practical inclinations, these practical ways of working with the universe too. So working with the universe and expecting miracles, expecting small miracles every day. I know everything's going to work out for me today. We want you to get into that mindset as soon as possible. As soon as you turn off this reading, get into that mindset every single day. Everything's going to work out for me. It's all going to be great. Now, if you've put out energy into a certain thing and it comes back negative, it comes back that it's not right for you, we want to remind you that if you're working with this caliber and you're surrendering to this higher source and working with the universe in this way, it's purely protection. If the universe isn't giving you that particular thing that you focused on, then something better is coming in for you. So all you need to say is release the notion of, all right, I guess that wasn't for me. me. Something better is coming in for me. The universe, if you work with the universe in this way, especially in the next month, the universe doesn't necessarily need you to keep making the same, having the same experiences over and over again. Now, if there's something that you've asked for in the universe, like, well, they don't need that, let's move them on to this, then they're going to move it out of your way. You're not going to have to go through it. So anything or anyone, any situation, you've put yourself out there and it doesn't work out, it falls flat, it falls short. Trust that it's protection. You didn't need that situation. You didn't need to go through it, right? If you look back on your life on many different situations and things that you've asked for explicitly, really, really clearly, and then when you've got it, all right, well, some of this is good in theory, but I wish I'd asked for this, or now I'm in this, or sometimes it's, oh, I just didn't want this at all, because you're asking for what you think you can get, or you're not being specific about matching the energy to your higher self. So being specific, releasing old wounds once and for all, and really honoring the fact that they're coming up. If you get involved in these old wounds, and they're going to, the energy is, the heaviness will bring you down. There's no reason for that. You've already worked through them. It's just a matter of honoring and really getting into the habit this month of expecting miracles. Now, they can be small miracles. My day will be easy today. I will meet wonderful people today. I will see wonderful things happening in the world. And that's up to you to protect yourself from that too. You know, sometimes we need to turn off our devices. Sometimes we need to unplug from what's going on out there. But where you focus your attention is where you're bringing in more energies. Now, you can start from this small place of small miracles, and then move into big miracles. But the trick, or not the trick, but the understanding this month is to leave everything open and to have this expansive world view, knowing that brilliant things are coming in for you, and having this trust with the universe where these things are coming in and proving to you that it's happening. So your right card is, what do you need to allow in for this magic to solidify, to really occur? Compassion. The vibration of compassion shines through my every cell. Okay, so we're going to start with you. Compassion for yourself too. Now, with your beautiful mind, pile one, and you really do have this practical element. Now, we want to be very, very clear about this. Your practical element is a gorgeous part of yourself. And when it clicks in, you know, you're a great leader. This needs to be done. That needs to be done. And especially when it's linked into this intuitive side that you have. All right, I have this intuitive thing that I'm going to go and do this. It sounds a little bit batty, but it's working with my practical mind. It's a practical thing that I can do. I'm going to do it. And it works out. So the compassion for you is when this stuff comes up for you, sometimes you can really sort of bring it in, and then you can get down on yourself because you don't think you are as far along as you actually are. We want to remind you very, very clearly, if you get this one thing out of this reading, then we've done our job for this reading. Whatever's coming up for you, this core wound, yes, it's huge, but you've done the healing already. It's just letting you know that it's there for you to release finally. There's no more, there's nothing more to do. If you're honoring this energy as it comes up, it's not going to bring you down. Please have compassion for yourself if this energy is coming up for you this month. For most of you, it will be coming up in different ways because this is general reading. Sometimes it comes up with an unexpected flare-up with a friend or a situation or a family member or something that happens in your house that's seemingly out of nowhere, and even you'll be like, where did that come from, or how did that happen? This is just energy that's coming back to show you something, but it's not going to linger. The energy's not going to linger. So while this is happening, honor the energy that's coming in, even if it seems a little freaky. It's attached to something else. For a lot of you, it's attached to some kind of safety, or how you felt safe in the world, or how you felt that you would be accepted versus non-acceptation. So this is you accepting yourself, obviously, but this is linked to self-worth. This stuff goes a little bit deeper than that, but you've been working on this in an alchemizing way all the way through your life, and you've been working through the layers of this onion. So as this energy comes up, honor it, and honor it in a way that, maybe you want to do something for the next couple of days while you honor it. Don't beat yourself up. Please have compassion for yourself if you can't get back to the normal world right now, whatever that looks like to everybody, right? If you don't feel like exercising 3 hours a day or doing this, that, and the other, do what you need to do to get through this, and have compassion for yourself while you do this. As we say here, this too shall pass. This is just moving through for you to release. So have compassion for yourself, put your energy first. Have compassion for what you're going through. Have compassion for this. What you're doing is you're integrating and releasing this energy at the same time, while building this really expansive way of being in the world. And then all this magic comes in. You're doing this practical way of bringing in this beautiful magic this month. And expecting miracles, maybe on a smaller level, and then moving up to a mid-range level, and then huge level. But this is all for you to reprogram your mind to expect miracles and a magical life all of the time. And you are ready for this work. You're ready to integrate this work into your next month. And by the end of this month, you will be very much living a magical life. So let's get you some beautiful tarot too. Let's see. Tarot. So these are your beautiful themes. And we don't want you to get hung up on this energy that's coming in. So we've got the Tower coming in, and we've got the Five of Swords. We're going to do that with your Express for Joy. So the way in which you may have worked in the world before, because these themes are coming up for you, these core wounds are coming up for you, and whereas before they may have controlled the way in which you controlled, for want of a better word, for clarity's sake here, they might have controlled the relationship you had with the world, insofar as like you believed in magic, but you want to bring it in, but at the same time the practical element comes in because it's trying to protect you. All perfectly reasonable. So you start having these self-fulfilling prophecies where things aren't working the way that you want, and then, oh, nothing's working out for me, da 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 da. So this is what you are not correcting, because there was nothing wrong with that energy, but this is, you're leveling up now. This is moving away. Nothing is falling apart. So you already have this childlike mindset, and when it comes in, sometimes, when you feel a little overwhelmed, you can oh, everything's falling apart, I don't know what to do, and you feel as though the coping mechanisms go out a little bit. But that's just your childlike mind needing to be integrated. That's just your child going, your inner child going, I don't really know what to do. All you need to do is, all right, so things aren't going the way that we thought they were going to go. We're feeling a little funky right now. What do you want to do, inner child? And bring up that energy of the inner child. And it won't be, oh, all woe is me, everything's falling apart. We want to remind you, if there are actual things falling apart, and for some of you, a few things may fall apart for you, nothing big, but they may fall apart for you at the beginning of this month as you start this journey. But again, you're being protected from the universe, and that's something that they don't want you to really work with anyway, because you've gotten your experience from that. You've learned everything from all of those experiences. So again, if all these sort of lightning things start happening, and all of a sudden have an argument, or this friendship falls away, or this happens in the apartment, or something weird, it's just this energy coming up. But again, this too shall pass. So this is old energy, moving out of this old energy of, oh no, nothing's working out, moving into, how do I work with my inner child here, and how do we get this energy up and get back to expressing our joy and expecting the best circumstances for us. And again, to reiterate, a reminder, always speak to the universe, saying, no matter what it is that I want, whatever you bring me, make sure it matches, my path here, my highest version of myself, so I can be truly happy in it. The details you can take care of, universe, but this is what I want. I want community. I want to be able to do what I want to do. I want to make riches from it. I want to help the world. Just be specific about that, and the actual situations whereby you'll be able to show what you can do, and you'll be celebrated for who you are, the universe will take care of. But be really clear about that other stuff. So this is energy for you moving out, moving into expressing your joy constantly and working with your inner child. You've got the Four of Wands here with this moon energy, which is gorgeous. Community and family. And it's not just celebration, it's building a community. And the Seven of Cups here. So yeah, for some of you, it's about being able to choose what it is that you really want, and being confused about, because there's so many different directions you can go in, and trusting yourself and trusting the universe again. So this is about building a community. This is about being seen in your community. This is about being revered. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be revered, especially when you do what you do. You're brilliant at what you do, and you want to feel as though you're connected and you're making a difference in this world. So building a community, this is all around building a community in which you can not only be of service, but you can actually feel as though your life already has meaning, but it's in this next level meaning where you can actually see the difference in your energy. You can actually see how people shift and change being around your energy, just in a community and on a global level. So this is you rising up to be a leader in this month. This is also you choosing, and again, the way in which we choose to reiterate, sometimes I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. There's nothing wrong with that. But you can get confused with that. And if something doesn't work out, if you've chosen 4 things and one of those things don't work out, you wonder if the other 3 or the other 4 things are what you should be doing. So again, having that expansive worldview with your beautiful universe and all of your guides who are absolutely clapping all the way through this and saying, you can do this, you've got this. Just saying, whatever it is that I'm supposed to do, I'll match it to the highest point that I am, to my higher self. And, and you can say to the universe, I'm ready for my higher self. I'm ready to match my higher self. Bring it on, and leave it up to the universe. Believe it or not, they really do know what you want. They really do know what's in your heart. You've done a lot of work deciphering the difference between what you think you want based on what you didn't have growing up and what you were trying to prove versus what your heart truly wants and what you're here to do, based on your blueprint. You've done a lot of that work. So there's a way of melding all of that and having the life that you truly want and keeping that magic in your life constantly. This is a very important month for you, Pile 1, mainly because you're ready to step into this new, and it's not a new version of you, absolutely. It's actually an old version of you. It's actually the version of you that you were when you were a kid and you were really expansive and you knew everything was possible. You're not exactly reverting back, but an aspect of you is, and that's a beautiful thing. So this is going to be a really, really beautiful month. Remember to keep your energy for you this month. Put yourself first. Compassion comes with you. If you're getting a little grumpy with the outside world and things are peeing you off, this, that, and the other, which is totally understandable. It's just you got to bring that energy back to you. Bring that compassion back to you, because the way in which you feel about the outside world is a reflection of how you're feeling about yourself. So it just means you're sort of leaking out energy. Pull that energy back. Get that compassion back for yourself. Work with your own energy this month, and then you'll see the beauty in the world. There is a lot of beauty. Obviously there's a lot of stuff going on, but it's also beautiful in the chaos. We want to remind you that you've got this. So let's end here with a message, a lyrical message from your beautiful fairy guides. And they will be here with you too, this energy with your inner child, and working with fairy and elemental energy will be perfect for you as part of your guides for this month. This is exactly the energy that you can be seeking. So seek them out. They will help. Peace. Friends and family and those who care, peace is yours today to share. Absolutely. bringing that peace, that golden gorgeousness of that expansive thought, knowing that everything is falling into place the way in which it's supposed to. The universe is working for you, not at all against you or in this way of what am I supposed to learn now. What you're supposed to learn this month is how to live in peace and how to expect miracles at every level. So that is your reading for you, Pile 1. Very, very expansive, beautiful month for you. We are sending so much beauty, energy, and support for exactly who you are and where you are in the world right now. You take care of yourself, and until we meet again, stay safe and sane. Bye-bye. Okay, lovely Pile 2s. This is your reading, your fairy magic reading. What fairy magic or magic in general will transpire for you in the next month. And again, messages from your fairy folk, your monthly magical and magic predictions. As I get so excited, I move everything around. Okay, so again, this is for whenever you click on this video, your upcoming month. So it's a timeless reading. So we've structured this reading to get you as much information as possible. So your middle card here, your oracle card, is your theme card. So it is, what message are you ready to integrate here? Your theme of the month. The left card here is what you need to release in order to integrate the middle card. And then your right card is what you need to allow in for all this magic to occur. So, and then we'll bring in some other cards for you too. And of course, we'll have some tarot. So let's get right into your reading. So your theme is to flourish, Pile 2. The lotus flower fairy tells you to learn from experience and shed your inner light on any unclear areas of your life or those of others. Look at that, flourishing. So flourishing this month, and also different kind of energy to Pile 1, but also releasing too. For you, it's going to be really important for you to stay in the moment. So what I'm picking up for you very clearly is that you really do have this great version of reality. And everybody has a version of reality, right? But you really do believe in magic. You really do have all of that coming in. It's just a matter of keeping it up and keeping it up. And now there's a few things that are coming up for you. The first thing is that very, very sensitive, excellent empaths. But when people don't treat each other well, it genuinely hurts you. It genuinely hurts you in that way. And sometimes that can bring down your vibration a little bit, because you tend to think, oh my goodness, what's going on in the world? The world is a terrible place, this, that, and the other. Now, we're not going to sit here and blow bubbles at your butt and tell you that absolutely everybody on this earth wants the best for everybody and this, that, and the other. This we already know is not true. However, at the same time, the vibrations are pulling up in and around so many other people who want the light. So the most important thing for you to remember, Pile 2, is to keep your energy intact at all times. And if you're seeing some darkness that's coming up, it's just reminding you that nothing is under stone anymore. Nothing is hidden anymore. So the fact that we can see it all and we can experience it and see what it does to each other and how it tears everybody apart, this, that, and the other, is a good thing in a way, because nothing, now that we have all this information, we can work with it and we can work with the light. So you working with the light this month to flourish and keep your energy up all of the time is really, really important for you. So to also keep your inner light shining at all times and not be sort of influenced from the external. Now, in the past, for some of you, you may have been sort of chameleons, and you're able to sort of go into different rooms and sense what people want. And some of you actually became what other people want because you could sense their needs. And this is your empathic nature. It's absolutely gorgeous. But what you're doing is you're pulling yourself out of that. And this is something, a habit that you've been pulling yourself out of. But we want you to encourage you to think, at least for the next month, while this is being integrated into your soul, to see yourself as the protagonist of your own movie. So it's you and everybody else falls into place. Now, for some of you, that's going to feel a little arrogant. That's not going to feel that good. That's like, I don't know about that. That doesn't feel like me, or at least that feels like arrogant, or that feels like the ego. Well, we want you to feel that way. We want you to see it that way because you're so sensitive, because you're so empathic, it's important for you to sort of push yourself to be the hero of you are the hero of your own movie, but to put yourself first and your energy first at all times. So this is what you're going to be doing in order to flourish completely. Now, you're already flourishing. And this is wonderful. This is just sort of tricks of the trade for you to support you in keeping yourself there all of the time, keeping yourself in this magical energy, keeping yourself in this flourishing energy. Because sometimes when you get around like darkness or chaos, whatever, it can take away your energy. So what we don't want you necessarily to have to do is to protect yourself and shield yourself anymore, because this is what you've done in the past. And then it shut down certain aspects of yourself. We want you to be fully loaded, ready to go, do what you want to do. So if you put your energy first and you claim all of that energy, then all of the energy around you has to acclimate to you. There's no need to shield. Now, having said that, putting your energy first sometimes means, you know what? I'm good. I think I need to leave. I think I need to go off and do this, or I need to go meet a friend, or, I need to go read a book. You don't have to tell everybody that. Or, I'm good with this conversation. I think we're done. Sometimes there are boundaries, and you are perfectly within your right to elicit those boundaries whenever they come up, but there's no need for you to shield anymore. So this is a way for you to have this boundless energy without having to protect yourself or shield yourself, but using your boundaries and also working with your energy in such a way that the energy around you, the external energy, bows to your energy and not the other way around. So let's get into your left card here. This is so exciting for you. This is something that you've been working on one way or another for a really, really long time. So this is a way for you to really, sort of solidify yourself in the world the way that you want and keep your energy up at all times. Because sometimes you can be sort of a little bit all over the place, even though your energy is stable. Like we said, you pick up on a lot of energy from everybody else, and it really can affect you. So left card, what you need to release to integrate this middle card. So be patient with yourself, and also be patient in general. I totally understand this, pal, too. But there's a part of you that's really funny. There's a part of you that really understands that everything takes like a while, and you're patient in that way. But at the same time, there's an impatience in you that also wants everything at the same time, which is totally understandable also. But the way in which you can work with this on a practical level is sometimes when you don't integrate your inner child as much as you can, it's the inner child that's, I want this now, and they have a little bit of a tantrum, right? So if you find yourself, because you're actually quite patient in some ways, you do understand that, baby steps, some of you might even have Taurus or a Taurus moon, or have that Taurus understanding of, it takes a while to get somewhere. It takes these steps, you move in this direction, but once you have this expansive mindset that we discussed in Pile 1, that you already have to a certain degree, you're taking it to the next level this month, then anything can happen. So if you're finding yourself into this sort of impatient, I want everything now, check in with your inner kid, check in with your inner child, because they're probably going, oh my God, I want to do something right now. And sometimes you can sort of override your inner child when it comes to the practical aspect of self. All right, but we need to do this right now. There is a way to integrate your inner child at every level and bring it up to that level where even if you have to do something mundane, your inner child can make it really fun. Sometimes you say to your inner child, all right, but we have to do this now. We have to be a grown-up now. So if you're finding yourself really impatient this month, check in with your inner child, integrate the inner child in that specific notion, and it will be in a very, very specific way that they're sort of rallying up against you. It won't be in general. You'll be impatient about this one thing or this one person or this one situation. You're generally impatient about something rather than being impatient across the board. Now, if you're being impatient across the board, then give yourself a timeout and go do something completely different and then come back to you. But generally speaking, if it's this one thing, integrate the inner child, let them come in and tell you what they need, and then it'll level everything out. You'll be able to move forward without this impatience kind of bringing you down, right? So your right card, what do you need to allow in for all of this magic to occur? You've got the light here. My light radiates through my life and the world around me. So we want to be really clear about this. This is about your light radiating constantly and not being dumbed down by others, other people's opinions, other people's versions of reality, which, by the way, they have every right to. And it's not that you don't believe that they don't have every right to, but there is a part of you that just, there is this utopia part of you that wants everything perfect. Now, a lot of you actually may have come from Atlantis or have this, this mentality where, we come here on a human existence, and being human is absolutely wonderful. It gives us pleasure and a myriad of different emotions that we wouldn't have had before. It's glorious being human, right? Regardless of whether you've ascended to the 5D or you're bringing 5D to the 3D, we're here to be human and have a human experience. But you also really do understand the sort of higher beauty. You have that higher. Now, again, we want to be clear. So it's not higher that you're looking down on anyone else. This has got nothing to do with the ego. You have this inner light. You have this very clear memory of either, the starseed star systems or Atlantis. And there's a part of you that can get very dismayed with the human experience at some point when it gets petty and it gets silly, and when people are missing the point and they're not listening to their soul. There's just something that really hits deep within you, and it can really, really hurt, like cut even for some of you. So reminding yourself again, get back into that inner child, reminding yourself that we're here to have a human experience. Everybody is doing their best, and everybody's coming from different levels of communication. Everybody's coming from different levels of what they need to learn in this lifetime. So not everybody is exactly where you feel as though they need to be one way or another, and not everybody is here to have an experience to be the best that they can be, and that's just part of it. And it's often from those situations that those people present that we find our own strength and our own true inner beauty. So they're just as important as everybody else, right? This intrinsically, but this is something that you're really going to hone in on. Let's move this up so we can get you some tarot this month. But the main thing for you, Pal 2, and this is absolutely clear, if you get nothing else from this reading in Pal 2, then we have done our job, that to put your energy first, to put your light first. Let your light saturate everything and everyone around you. This is about putting your energy numero uno, which means that every time you walk into a room, every time you walk into a situation, your light saturates everything, and everybody else's vibration needs to adhere to yours, which means that as you start doing that this month, and you do this as an exercise all of the time, completely and totally, in every situation, whether you're going onto the internet or whether you're interacting with people either online or in person, however, whatever situation comes up, the other people need to adhere to your energy, which means that people might fall away, or there might be things may happen if they can't keep up with your energy. Some people are able to do that inner work and say, okay, why am I being triggered? Let me go off and do this. But most people project. So they might project upon you or lash out in some way or just disappear. Something may happen. None of this is absolutely anything to do with you. If anything, it's a reflection of the fact that you are using your light and you're using it to the highest capacity, and that it is working. Remember, it's not up to you to save anybody. They need to figure out their own triggers. If they don't want to look within and they're insistent on projecting out and it's everybody else's fault, everybody's coming after me, this is happening, that's up to them. That is their own right. But all you're dealing with is the fact that they're reacting to something, which means that your light is working. So sometimes light irritates people, and it can irritate people who have light already within them, people who have already ascended, people who are awake. There's different levels of this going on. Just because somebody's ascended doesn't mean that they can't get triggered, doesn't mean that they can't project. There's lots of different levels going on here. So again, it's not your responsibility to sort that out. It is their responsibility to do whatever they need to do. You can remove yourself from that situation. But if any of this starts happening, it's just a reflection that you putting yourself first, you being the protagonist of your own movie, is absolutely working. You can send compassion to that person. Nobody likes to be triggered. It's not a nice feeling. There's a lot of beauty that can come from it if you take the time and you know that you need to go within, but it doesn't feel good. So you can send compassion to that person, but don't you dare get involved. Don't you dare put your energy in that space. That's for them to do. In the past, maybe you wanted to help people heal, and sometimes the best way to help people heal is to just be the light and let them figure it out. This is not at all about you taking on other people's healing or getting involved in other people's energy, because that takes away from you being your own protagonist, in your own hero, in your own movie. This is about you standing tall and flourishing in your own energy. And in this month, as you stay in this energy, this expansive energy comes in, and new opportunities come in for you this month. So stay the course. Give people the time, the reasoning, and whatever they need to be able to go off and be responsible for their own energy. People need to be responsible for their own energy. That's it. End of story. All energy has it has so much to it. It has a lot of weight to it. It has light to it. It has consequences. It has repercussions. It has responsibilities. People need to learn to move into those. It's not your job to teach them in that way. You can act as a light, certainly, but that is not for you to do. So that is your main message this month, as you bring all of that energy that you normally give to other people to yourself. So under Be Patient, let's get you some tarot. And I'm feeling very clearly to have a look at the bottom of here. 5 of Pentacles. Yeah, coming out of this energy of lack and moving on to this energy. You see, sometimes, the way in which you see your light, you look around the world and then you can get really disheartened and wonder if your light is doing anything. And that's it. The way in which you try and figure out if you're on the right track is just kind of, to be honest with you, pal, too, a little bit crazy sometimes. Put yourself into these crazy situations or these crazy head thoughts, and then, and all of a sudden you've convinced yourself that you're not as good as you could be. And it's like anybody who puts themselves into that situation and tries to compare themselves to this, that, and the other is going to feel the same way. So this is about putting your energy first and going with the expansiveness and not the lack. And the way that you can do that is pull all of your energy in for you this month. So under Be Patient, we have the 3 of Cups. Yes, celebrating being you, really allowing in and just celebrating with people who already see you. You do have people who already see you, but you are moving into, you have clusters of people who already see you, but you're moving into this community mind frame where that's going to be solidified, and that's going to start happening this month too. So be places and be around people who genuinely see who you are, instead of putting yourself where you feel as though you really need to be in order to help the world. The more you infuse yourself with the energy of people loving who you are and seeing you for who you are, the more energy you will gain from them too. You're ultra independent and used to doing things on your own. So there's this real sort of like Conan the Barbarian, like, I'm going to do this on my own. I'm going to take this down. I'm going to take down the system. I'm going to do all of this. All of that's absolutely wonderful, but we want to remind you that the system's absolutely collapsing in on itself on its own. And, just being in and around people, you don't have to take everything on to do everything yourself, and you will gain more energy and more lightness. And also the way in which you see yourself can be really tough sometimes. So allowing yourself to see yourself through the eyes of people who truly see you and see your gift and your light would be really good for you this month. Sometimes you let yourself do that because you're like, oh, I need a little boost. This is fine. You let in some of that information, but it's almost like you're afraid it's going to go to your head and you're going to get too arrogant, or, or the ego's going to click in, and it just doesn't with you. So we don't even know why you think that way. In some ways, you've used your ego to protect yourself, but in some ways, you could have used your ego a little bit more because it was there to protect you and you didn't even click in when you could have. So be around people who see you and let them shine their light to add to your light as you flourish this month. You've got the Two of Cups. So if you're not coming into, if you don't have a relationship already, there is a relationship coming in for you too, or a chance of relationship for coming in to you too. Now, this person will be somebody who you don't have to save. Yeah, pile 2, you don't have to save. Repeat after me, I don't have to save everybody. So this person will be absolutely beautiful, and this person will be worthy of you if they haven't come in already. If they have come in already, this is a chance for you to take your relationship to the next level, and whatever that means for you, because, you know, it could be on a physical level, it could be on a metaphysical level, it could be buying a house together, it could be getting married, it could be anything. These are general readings that will mean very different things to each and every one of you. But taking your level where you are with your significant other will be heightened this month. For those of you who are not attached yet, if that is the right word, it's okay to be attached to people. Allow yourself to be attached. That's okay. They are coming in for you, and it's something unexpected, and it's somebody, again, that you don't need to save. So keeping your energy for yourself, flourishing on your own terms. Again, working with your elementals this month. This is a fairy reading, checking in with your inner child, keeping everything. Remember, not focusing on the lack, but focusing on the beauty. We all have things we think that we're working on. If we all focused on the lack, we would never see the beauty. So that's possibly coming in for you, the energy of that person coming in for you if you're not already attached this month. And under light, you have Hermit. This is also a reminder of taking your energy to the next level. We want to be really clear. It's not about protecting and shielding yourself, although use your boundaries if you need to whenever you do. I think I've had enough here, or you know what? I think I'm good. I think I'm gonna leave, or however you need to articulate yourself, but not necessary to shield. But this is about bringing your beauty, your inner wisdom, this magnetic energy that you have, and taking it to the next level, this next expansive level, and getting it out to people in the world in a way that it's not really been able to do before, because you're either protecting it, shielding it, or you're getting dumbed down with other people's energy. So expansiveness, flourishing, keeping your energy first means that your light actually exudes more and goes further. Again, really notice how you are like a battery. It's okay to be around people who tell you that you're brilliant, because you are brilliant. Take that in for yourself. It's okay to have that, because that can recharge your battery and also be around all of that energy. It's also great for you if there are people in and around you that, you might have tried to save before, to just say, you know what, I'm not doing this right now, or to fall away from anything. Again, it's not necessarily a form of protection. It's just boundaries. It's just choosing. You get to choose, what makes you flourish this month. Now, this month is a basis for a foundation for you to live the rest of your life in this flourishing. You're ready to do this now. So work with your elemental energy and your beautiful inner child. Now, let's end with a little fairy anecdote here to set you free this month. That came out. Sunrise. Every sunrise sings a song. Don't worry, be happy, just sing along. Again, being in that beautiful inner moment, knowing that your light is absolutely enough. Whatever you're doing is absolutely enough. Listen to the praise of others. It's really going to feed you this month, not your ego, but your light, and it's going to get brighter. And remember, putting your light and energy first. Now, if that means that, again, you're exercising those boundaries but not shielding and protecting yourself, because you don't need to do that anymore. But if you do feel as though you need to do it, do whatever you need to do. Everybody is working at different stages with this energy. But this is for you to not concentrate on the lack, concentrate on the sunrise and the light, and bring whatever you want to you, instead of working so hard to try and make everything happen and make everybody heal. So this is what we have for you, Pile 2, gorgeous Pile 2 for your month. Sending you so much love and support for exactly who you are and where you are in the world. You stay safe and safe and sane, and go rock your month and the rest of your life. We are sending so much love to you. Till we meet again, take care. Okay, beautiful Pile 3. If you chose Pile 3, this is your reading. It is a fairy magic reading. What fairy magic will transpire for you in the next month? Again, this is a timeless reading. Whenever you clicked on, it'll be the next month. And it will be messages from your fairy folk, your monthly magic predictions. So we're doing something a little bit more specific today. So we have 3 oracle cards. Your middle oracle card, of course, is directly from your fairies. So your middle card is what theme and message is ready to be integrated this month. And then your left card will be what you need to release to integrate your middle card. And the right card will be what you need to allow in for this magic to occur. So let's get in with your theme for this month. Healing, beautiful. Now is the time for you to give or receive healing. Everyone has a natural ability to heal others. Yes, even you. So your message is healing this month. So there's a few different things that are coming up for you, Pile 3. Yes, you'll be healing on a really, really interpersonal level, but you'll also be healing in a very specific way. Everybody has a story. Everybody has a narrative of how they got here and how their personality developed and what obstacles they went through and all of this. Now, for you this month, it's really important for you to understand all of this and to be able to share it. Now, some people, I see this confused, people get confused about this in the spiritual community all the time, where we're just beings, there's no identity, there's no real names, there's no narrative, this is just a story we've told each other. Yeah, we all know all of that, absolutely, but there is pearls of wisdom in what you've been through and the experience and the mystery of that and the beauty. And in those pearls of wisdom, you can hand those over to other people to be able to heal. And those narratives that we have can serve as a blueprint for healing for other people. So while we can move outside of it and we don't have to really, cling on to it with our ego, we can still allow in transcendent energy and become whatever and expansive and all of that. There's absolutely no harm whatsoever in really understanding where you came from, claiming it, using it as a blueprint for healing for others. Also, it's really important for people to claim this so they understand what's happened to them and they understand why things have happened to them. There is this real need in spirituality sometimes. It's like spiritual bypassing of, I'm in 5D now. I know I don't need to deal with any of this. And if that's the way you want to do it, that's fine. But for you this month, this is an identity thing. This is something for you to actually claim. This did happen to me. It wasn't great, but this is what I got out of it. And this is what I've learned. And this is how I can help you. This is about you absolutely stepping into your story one way or another, understanding it's a narrative, absolutely, but understanding that narrative is a beautiful blueprint in which you can help others. So you are not going to be spiritually bypassing in any way, shape, or form this month. You're going to be claiming everything that you are. And sometimes the other thing that we want to say too is that sometimes people miss is that when you claim absolutely everything about yourself, nobody else can claim anything about it. It's one way that you can integrate and release completely from these claims from yourself by claiming everything. I always say to people, does it matter what star system you came from before? Does it matter if you're Pleiadian, you're Orion, you're this, that, and the other? Maybe not. It really doesn't. And actually work from many different star systems. But it's important for starseeds initially to be able to understand that they're starseeds, because I've seen a lot of starseeds in this lifetime not make it because they didn't realize that they were starseed. They didn't realize what was going on within them. And if they had just realized and claimed some kind of identity within that would have given them some kind of shelter for them to sort of refigurate who they thought they were. And maybe hold on a little bit more in this lifetime. So sometimes it's great to claim an identity so you can release it. There's many different ways to work within this energy, and how you work within it will be absolutely up to you. And of course, you will have your own version of this, because this is a general reading and everybody's at different places. And but this is about you claiming your story. This is about you claiming your narrative, and also reaching out to others to be able to do this. It's important for you to reclaim or claim this narrative, because there's words of wisdom for you in there. There's pearls of wisdom for others. Yes, a blueprint for healing for others, but there's something that you're missing too. There's some kind of understanding of how you've healed and how beautiful your spirit is and how it's endured. By claiming all of your healing journey, you will be able to see the mystery and the beauty and the gorgeousness of it objectively from a macro kind of point of view. And this will really help in your healing journey. It'll also be able to help you sort of integrate that healing, be able to move away from it. Yes, to drop all of that other side of it, but also be able to help others too who are also going through it. So this is a very important month for you. So left card, what do you need to release to integrate this? So impeccability. I am impeccable in my thought, word, and deed. So this is what you are integrating in order to get into that. So for you to be of the highest caliber of who you are, you're ready to integrate and really own every aspect of yourself. Everything that you did, every experience that you went through, every way that you reacted to things that happened to you that were not that great. Now, we want to be clear, we've said this on the channel before, but want to be clear, this is not saying that everybody needs to be, oh, I forgive everybody. If things happen to you and people were not responsible for their own energy, especially with abuse, there is many different ways to heal without having to to bring up the spiritual bypassing again. Everything's fine. No, you don't have to do any of that. This is about you putting your energy first, your impeccable ideals and thought and word and deed first. You can take your energy out of that and say, you shouldn't have done that. You could have done better. You can allow all of those energies in and around that healing, anger, frustration, all of that. You're owed all of that. And that's how you will heal from it. It's not this blanket of, okay, you could have done better. I totally get it. This, that, and the other. If that's what you want to do, that's great too. Forgiveness does not need to be part of it. So this is about you stepping into your own energy, but this is a really important part of it. It's you stepping into an element of strength that you've not really stepped into to its fully capacity, to fully capacitate. I don't know where that was going. To be fully in your presence there, to be the complete and total strength that you have. And your strength really comes from all the experiences that you've been through. Now, you're honoring that you've been through them. You don't have any problem with that, but integrating all of them and sharing your story and sharing and owning your narrative this month, that's where your true strength comes from. Absolutely. Because there is a part of you that's like, yeah, I've been through that. I don't need to go through that anymore. I'm going to dumb it down. I'm going to do that. Nothing wrong with that. And that we're not asking you to bring it up to relive it, but claiming it as part of your identity so that you can integrate it and move through it, certainly, is going to be something that's really interesting for you, how you work with your strengths. Also, a lot of you are very earthy, but you're not exactly grounded. So your first, second, and third chakra, this can happen if there's been abuse or if there's been a lot of heartache in your life. What we tend to do is we tend to take our energy outside of ourselves and please others. Sometimes we've had to do that to stay alive or to feel as though we're not going to be hurt in some way or another. So with people, and this might be a little bit of a trigger warning here for those of you who have been through some pretty nasty situations, and for some of you have been, the way in which you can reclaim and really enter back into your first, second, and third chakra, because a lot of those chakras aren't really inhabited as much. We're not really in our body if we've been through as much as some of you have been, is to reclaim that strength, reclaim everything that you've been through that narrative, through your story, pull in that energy and really pull it down very firmly into the ground and regroup in that first, second, and third chakra. And then what you'll see is that you'll be really firmly into the ground. You'll be completely grounded, not just earthy, but completely grounded. And then your outlook starts changing. Then the claiming of who you are starts changing. You start doubting yourself a little less. So you have this incredible beauty, you have this incredible strength. It's just a matter of pulling it into your body and just allowing it to behave like a tree trunk in a way, so it can't be moved or swayed in any way. And from there, you have this really firm foundation to move in any direction that you want. Although most of you have a very firm idea of which direction you want to move in because you know who you are. So let's see, the right card too, what you need to allow in for magic to occur. Grieve your losses. Absolutely. So again, as we said before, whatever you need to do to build this strength, you've already got it to solidify the strength, really. If you need to get angry, if you need, and again, you're not bringing up old stuff. Now, if people need to go to a counselor or a therapist, you absolutely need to do whatever you need to do. It never really worked for me because going through the same thing over and over again never really worked. But here's the thing, you're not doing that in this. But if you do need to go and see a counselor, please get all the help you need. Just because things don't work for someone else doesn't mean that it won't work for you. In fact, I've had a lot of situations where people, oh, that never worked for me, and it was absolutely gorgeous for me. It didn't work for them, it worked for me. But you're looking at this from a macro version. You're looking at this from a higher version, elevated version of everything that you've been through. So when you allow in these energies of you could have done better, this frustrating, you're not bringing in the old anymore. What you're doing is you're allowing in all of that information, all of those emotions that really weren't considered appropriate at that time. And what you do with that energy is you can seal it up and let it go once and for all. Very often when we're in these situations, we're not really allowed to have our own temperament around it. We're not allowed to really react to it. We're in survival mode. We don't really get to say you were shit, or this wasn't okay, or this, that, and the other. And if you do get to say it, that's fine. You don't have to say it to the person. And you're not reliving it. You're just understanding all of that, pulling all that information out, making it yours so you can let it go. So this is a new level of healing for you that you're ready to do. Again, you're not going to get pulled back into the rabbit hole. This is not going to pull up old memories. In fact, what it's going to do, it's going to solidify the old and put the energy, the strength, and the magnetism back in your hands. Put it back in your hands. When we've been in these situations, very often the control was not in our hands, it was in somebody else's, and we were very, very aware of that. This allows, or it doesn't even allow, you're taking back that energy, you're taking back that control, and you're saying, I'm doing this for me, I get to do this. So again, not going down the rabbit hole, you've healed from all of this. This is a way for you to solidify your story, to bring in that last energy of healing, for you to prepare yourself to own the story to help others. This is part of your blueprint. So you're ready to do this in a way that's not going to be debilitating for you. And it's going to be a way for you to really honor how beautiful you are. You're not liars. You're truth seekers. You get really pissed off by liars. You get offended by them. When you say something, you intend to do it. There's some, okay, that came out. That's fine. And you have this King of Swords. Okay. Actually, the King of Swords popped up here, and you've got the Queen of Wands. Let's do this. And you've got the Eight of Wands. So you've got this beautiful energy coming in. Something's coming in for you. Opportunities are coming in for you for leadership. Now, some of you have already had these opportunities, and you're like, will I be able to do this? Yes, of course you will be able to do this, but you'll be able to level up in a way that's absolutely brilliant. This month will help you do this by claiming every aspect of who you are. But this is absolutely energy from the external coming in. These are actual visual and physical opportunities for you moving forward. So this is part of what you're doing, and then you're going to see something, you're going to see that change, that alchemical change that happens in the external world coming into your world. So an opportunity to step up and be a leader. Things taking off quite quickly, but again, sort of expected in a way. No need to feel in any way overwhelmed. You're absolutely ready for this. So, but this is a way specifically for you to be able to help and heal others. Again, part of your blueprint, clicking into that in a new way. So you got the King of Swords and the Queen of Wands. You're at the top of your game here with this healing and the grieving of losses. So some of you may be working with helping people through grief, or helping people through loss, and it could be through creative means. There could be an amalgam of different things that you put together. Of course, so many different ways to be able to do this. For some of you, working with children or even animals. But also it's a case of you being absolutely on your game, being on that throne, knowing when you speak you have this articulation, again, this impeccable beauty, being able to see exactly what that person needs to hear in that moment, and being able to articulate it beautifully and gorgeously. And this is one of the things that you have, because you have that external and internal truth, that universal truth. You don't get carried away by other people's opinions and this, that, and the other. In fact, if you're doing any kind of session, you throw that out, but you also listen to people when they speak. But you'll be able to navigate them back into the truth one way. The universal truth, the clear truth, back into themselves and who they are. So you have the beautiful masculine and divine masculine and divine feminine of moving forward, being able to do this. So some of you, this may be very, very specific, but energy is coming up, so we're going to discuss it. Some of you might be moving into some kind of soul coaching capacity where you already know what you're doing, but you want to take it one step further, working with people one-on-one or small groups, and taking this to the next level, or starting a business doing that. This is something that would be absolutely wonderful for you. This is letting you know this is absolutely the right time, and working with your own energy with that blueprint, the way in which we talked about the first part of this reading, will absolutely not only help you, but enable you to really reach people very quickly and urgently. We're not suggesting that you do this. This can be really, really tough, but you would be really good at it at some point. You would be great in a crisis situation like 911, that sort of that operator. We're not suggesting that you do it, but you have it within you to be able to do that. Once you master, and this month is really getting to the crux of two parts of this, not just mastering your own story from the macro level, but also inhabiting the strength in your body in the first, second, and third chakras. Until you master that strength and really ground yourself in that way, those kinds of jobs or being there for people could be really tough on you when you came home. I mean, they're pretty tough on people anyway, but they would be really, really tough on you. But this is something, once you start working with that firm foundation, that you would be in a position to be able to do. You would be brilliant. You'd be able to keep people very calm. You'd be able to express, articulate what needs to be done in a really specific amount of time, to keep people alive. So in the most sort of expansive form of that, you would be able to do that. But soul coaching, it may not be that sort of life intensity, maybe it will be, but this is something that you'll be able to do. Your articulation, the way in which you see the world, but also you don't project what you've been through onto others. You use it as a template to be able to see everybody else's point of view. Now, the beauty of what you do is that, and a lot of people don't do this, and I think we're moving to a point where we're starting to do this, is that people are starting, people often judge people or see the world through their own filter and don't really listen to other people. And they don't really listen to the experience of others, because they're filtering that person's experience through what they've been through. So they're not really listening to the other person. You do the opposite of that. You actually understand what you've been through. You use it as a basis, as a template. But you listen to the other person and you allow that person to really experience what they've been through in their own way, without you having to project your own filter or your own version of it, one way or another. So you'd make excellent counselors, excellent soul coaches, all of that. So for any of you who are thinking about, I want to step up, I actually want to do this, or I want to create this as part of my business, it would be absolutely wonderful for you to do this once you get this down. Now, we don't want you to get overwhelmed by what we said at the first part. This is not going to take years and years for you to do. This is just literally putting yourself into the energy of getting back your energy and your strength, putting it, building up your first, second, and third chakra, building those roots and claiming your story. Again, we want to reiterate, this is not about going back and pulling up all of the past and going through and calling up everybody and going, you were a shit. Well, we're not going to tell you what to do. If you feel like you need to do that, you need to do that. But it's not going to be necessary for you to do that. Again, not down the rabbit hole. This is you seeing it from a macro point of view. And it's very liberating, the way in which you'll be working with this. And you're ready to be able to do that once that foundation is set, and it will be very quick for you to set. You'll be off doing that for other people. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let's go ahead and get you one last beautiful little oracle from this came up, music. Fairies dance in the green hollow, where the music plays, joy will follow. That's really interesting, because before that popped out, thinking some of you may be using music or music therapy with children or even animals, or that's something that you could actually physically integrate into the soul, whatever it is that you're doing. You're helping people on a soul level, however you interpret that, because this is a general reading, will be up to you. Each one of you will have a different version of that. But again, music is very important. Playing that instrument, for those of you who started playing an instrument, and so much has happened in the last year and a half, we're all trying to figure stuff out, getting back to that, but listening to all of that, again, the frequency, also working with your clients with music frequency, working with meditations with frequency, with music, all of this is coming in for you now. But I want to get you another one, because that did pop out, but I feel like there's still one more little message for you. Don't forget to work with your elementals and your fairies and your inner child this month, especially when you're doing this work. It doesn't have to be all humdrum and really intense. You can have these breakthroughs without having to go through again down the rabbit hole. So bring in all this elemental energy this month. You're on the right path. This is the one we wanted for you. The way ahead is clear and true. You've chosen the right path for you, so you know what to do. This is just setting the foundation for you to move forward, but you know what to do. And if you were saying, all right, I had an inkling of what I wanted to do, but actually I didn't know if this is what I want to do, this is letting you know that whatever idea, this brilliant idea that you got up, you're ready to do it. This is your confirmation for sure. So this is your reading. Have a beautiful month, Pile 3. We are sending you so much love, energy, beauty, and support for exactly who you are and where you are in the world. Please stay safe and sane. Go rock your world this month, and go rock everybody else's world too, because that's part of your blueprint and what you're here to do. Until we meet again, bye-bye.